And I'm back. Third day of IFA 2015. We're still in hall 16 here at the Intel booth. That's the Intel TechLounge, bringing you the latest updates from the show floor. Actually, I kind of sneaked out over here for the last 90 minutes and made it over to hall 1.2 and saw some really cool new stuff from Sonos. And if you've watched us already last year, you might know that I'm absolutely Sonos fanboy. But anyways, that's not the topic for today, or not at least for this slot. But today we're talking about quite an interesting project, and I have two new guests over here that are, but the best way to explain what you're doing and what your position is by just introducing yourself. Want to start with you, Stefan?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Stefan Sauer. I'm an engineer at Google in Munich, and I'm working on this robotic project with Thorsten.
Yeah, my name is Thorsten. I'm heading the project Roberta Learning with Robots. It's a project initiated by Fraunhofer Society in Germany.
Mm-hmm. And just for our international viewers, and I mean 80% of you guys are English speaking, the Fraunhofer Institute is pretty much the most well-known research institute in Germany. Lots of engineers over there. Lots of crazy stuff is getting out of the lab. As you might know, Klaus Badenhorst did the MP3 codec that came out of the Fraunhofer labs. And now we have little robots. And it has an interesting name. It's called the Project Roberta.
Yes, it's Roberta. It's a German female name. And we call it Roberta because our aim is to get girls and boys interested in STEM. So science, technology, math. And that's why we called it Roberta, because in Germany we have a lack of female engineers.
Yeah.
And that's the first step to get them interested in robotics.
Yeah.
So.
I like that idea. So you know what? Just to get the idea, you teamed up with Google. Is this a cooperation in between Fraunhofer Institute and Google? Was this Fraunhofer driven, Google driven? Did you just came together because both of you loved it? What's the story behind it?
Yeah, should I start? So the story behind it is that Google invented the so-called App Inventor. Mm-hmm. And we used it because girls and boys are also using smartphones. And Google developed this great tool called App Inventor, and then we started to play around with it, and it turned out that it's really cool, and then we started to get in contact with Google, and then Google financed us for a project where we explained how to develop your own apps with the Google App Inventor and how to interact with your robot. And that's the first step. We worked together with Google in Germany, and after that, Google and the head of Google engineers in Germany, Wieland Hohlfelder, came up with another idea, and maybe Stefan, you can tell the idea behind Open Roberta.
Let me know.
Yeah, I can tell that story. So basically, the question was that we were asking ourselves, how can we scale this up? How can we reach all these kids in Germany and also in other European countries and maybe in the whole world? And we thought that we need a development environment for the kids where they can program robots that is very easy to get to. No need to install lots of stuff. Just open a browser. Everyone has a computer with a browser or a smartphone with a browser. Just open a URL, set up your robot, and get started. And that is basically what the project is now about, the Open Roberta lab. And if you want, I can...
We would love to see it.
Give a very quick demo how easy it is to get started. Please give us the whole spiel. Yep, then let's see.
Maybe you have to tell that it's complete new. So you see a lot of programming environments are open and online, but it's the first environment where you can program robots, so real stuff. So you are leaving the virtual environment and moving back to your real robot. So it's a hands-on approach for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's much better to get them interested in these kind of fields.
Oh, absolutely. Very cool.
So all you need to do is to open a web browser and go to the openroberta.org site. Here you see a different URL because on the trade fair the Wi-Fi is not really that good, so we're using a cable here. But for you at home, it works without cables. And then you can just build a program by putting these blocks together. And before we show anything more, we just I have prepared a little program here, and we're just pressing play and seeing what the robot does. So now the program is sent to the server and compiled, and the code is sent to the robot, and the robot shows a little picture on the screen that receives the program, and now it will go and do something, and voila, here we see it will drive, and that's basically what I did on the screen. I was telling the robot, do something 4 times, and the something is drive and turn. So now it's basically back to where we started. That's a very simple example, and you don't need to type in text, and you don't need to know a lot about programming.
So that was
a very quick demo.
So what kind of language is that?
Yeah, we call the language NAPO, so it's open reverse, and it's a kind of meta programming language. What our aim is that we thought, okay, we are using a graphic programming environment. It looks like Scratch, and it's based on Blockly. It's also from Google. And but we thought, okay, maybe not everyone has a Lego robot at home or in school. So we developed a meta programming language which can be compiled to other programming languages. So for this kind of robot, we are compiling it to Java.
Okay.
And if you have other robots, so it's an open source project. So help us bringing your robot into our programming environment, and then you can choose between different kinds of robots. So maybe Lego or Arduino or Raspberry Pi. And then you need only one programming environment for, let's say, whatever kind of robot system you want to program. And that's called a NAPO, so it's a kind of meta programming language.
That's pretty. And actually, it reminded me a little bit of Logo from the late 70s, early 80s, right? Because it was just, heading into this direction, even though they didn't connect it to robots at that time. But it was about, just have this little turtle.
And this is actually inspired by that, because like for kids it's really helpful, or for teenagers when they see actually what happens, and then basically all these like driving blocks and turning blocks, it's really obvious. If you say turn left and it turns right, then there's obviously something wrong, and you need to check if maybe you swap the motors, and they can learn a lot of practical things and what kind of mistakes you can make. And
sorry, please go ahead.
If you do not have a robot, then we have a simulation environment as well, and that maybe reminds you much even better to Turtle and Logo, because it's also 2D environment.
Okay.
But the simulated robot there behaves like a real robot. So
very cool.
It's a little bit like a turtle with a differential drive.
Is there any chance that we can showcase this?
Yep.
That'll be fantastic.
So I'll just go back to sit down a bit. So now we don't need to look at the real robot. Now I switch to the simulator view here. We have the same kind of program. And when we start this, we get now a parkour on the right-hand side, and we see the robot driving here, and we see the sensor scanning visualized, and I can move some obstacles in the way of the robot, and then we'll see the bumper here turns red, and it rattles a bit because it's hitting the bumper, and I can move that away, and the robot drives. And that's basically now running the program that we see on the left-hand side. And that's super cool, because this way everyone can just start doing this without buying a physical robotic kit, and make first steps. And if you like it, then get a real robot and make it like doing something useful in your home.
So and it's developed complete new for the IFA, and after the IFA it will be online on Wednesday.
That is pretty awesome. So, I mean, obviously you somehow aiming maybe at the educational market with it, to get this into schools, to educate kids about processes, methods of fundamental methods of coding, and but could this also be part of, the next Lego package? Or is it already part of the next Lego package?
Unfortunately not.
We talked to Lego, of course. So Lego Education, it's the department of Lego who is responsible for the Lego Mindstorm robots, and we will see. So we have a lot of meetings, and maybe they will also use Open Roberta for their robots, and but it's in progress. So Yeah.
So how did you come up with this? I mean, yes, it is always great to have an idea about how to get kids connected to technology, right? And to kind of tickle their minds and inspire them. But I mean, sooner or later you have to develop it, and sooner or later you need to have a master plan, which is like a little bit of a brainstorming at a bar or somewhere, or I don't know.
So yeah. The whole Roberta initiative has been set up 12 years ago, and so we have a lot of experience by teaching teachers or training teachers and developing teaching materials. Mm-hmm. And after our 10 years anniversary, Wieland Hohlfelder from Google came up and said, okay, and Lego was also there, and he said, hey guys, your software has to be installed at computers, and it's not available for Linux computers, and it's also not available for tablets, which came up a lot. And then he said, why not bringing your software into the cloud? And it was a long discussion, and then Fraunhofer said, okay, let's do it. So Fraunhofer has the power to do it, and then we started to implement the software, the environment, and thinking about, okay, how has the language look out, or has the language be physical or visible program that kids can use it. And so the main importance of this kind of browser or web-based programming environment is that the teachers in schools do not have to install anything, because if you ever have seen computers in schools, sometimes they are really old or deprecated, and you cannot install software on it because they are too slow or based on Windows XP or whatever.
Absolutely.
And now they only need the web browser, and it's working.
This could run on a Chromebook.
Yeah, it works fine on the Chromebook, in fact. So
you can visit us in Hall 15. We are doing workshop with kids there tomorrow, and we are using Chromebooks as well because they are cheap, and you have to put it up, go on the net, and it's working.
In general, a fantastic initiative that Google also started with Google in School, or Chromebook in schools, right? Even creating an online environment for teachers where they can control and just connect to it in an administrative way with the kids. So this is obviously a non-profit project, right?
Yeah. It's actually an open source project also, so all the sources and the whole bug tracker and everything that comes with it, it's all publicly accessible, so everyone can help. And if you want to try this at home, you can just try it. And if you find a bug or have a great idea how to improve it, you're everybody's welcome to file a ticket and present the idea and send patches, of course. So we hope that in the long run we also build a development community around it. And there's this idea that, for instance, students who study computer science, they can build this tool for the next generation, and the next generation starts with the puzzle pieces and learns the basics of programming. And after some time, you can actually already now you can ask the Roberta Lab to show the generated Java code, and they can see. So after some time, it's not just puzzle pieces. There's actually some text that's generated, and they can look at it and see that, oh, this is actually what a professional will type in the editor. And after some time, they maybe switch the sides and say that, okay, now I want to be having full control and typing in the text and adding new features to the development environment for the next generation of kids.
You need to bring it to the maker fairs. Seriously, I think now finally that the maker fairs are coming over here to Germany.
Yeah.
I think that this is perfect, and because it's such a family event too, right? And families are heading over there, coming there with the kids, and to have a place where they could just play around with it, right, and geek out on fundamental ideas of programming, and having a little robot over there. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, totally. And for kids, the awesome thing is once they get into that and they realize that programming, actually, the coolest thing about programming is that they are in charge. They're the boss. Yeah. And it's reversing what kids see it as a parents always demand things. They have to do that, and I can't say no. And when they program a robot, they are the boss. They can say the program drive in circles 20 times, and the robot wouldn't say, "Oh, it's boring. Can I maybe stop now?" And that's really cool.
It's going to be a rewarding moment for each and every kid as soon as they can
realize
what they can do with coding.
Yeah. And you have to say it's a real programming language.
Right.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
But we made it that way that it really is a programming language.
Yeah.
You have all the paradigms you need to program or to code real stuff. And so you have functions, you have math methods, you can program arrays and variables and all that things you have in other programming languages as well.
Yeah. Robots can even talk to each other. They can send messages, so you can do stuff with your friends. And that's something that is, I think, important for many parents. They're a bit worried when the kids like sit at home and do this kind of stuff in their chamber and not getting any sunlight exposure. But like they at least like there's some social party also. Their kids can share their programs with other kids, and they can send messages from one robot to the other and do a collaborative approach to a problem. And I mean, there's a huge potential. It's not everything is done yet, but yeah. I see endless opportunities to make this like super awesome.
I mean, guys, how cool is that, right? The whole environment is happening in the cloud. Right? You can teach your kids how to program robots, and they even have machine-to-machine communication integrated into this. It can't get any better with, you know, instead of just sitting them in front of the gaming console, right? Just get them a proper Chromebook and a nice little Lego robot, and just we can find them on, if you just Google for Project Roberta, right? They should be able to find it.
OpenRoberta.org.
OpenRoberta.org is the URL for this, and yeah, once again, I think this is something that our schools and in general the educational system is really missing here. I would have loved this in school. Seriously, I would have been all over it. But when we got PCs in school, it was just so goddamn boring. Seriously.
Yeah, and even you can use an iPad, so you do not have to use only Chromebooks.
yeah, no, sure.
Yeah, it even works on tablets.
Yeah.
And
but I think
it runs best on the Chrome browser.
That's for sure. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you use a Firefox, it's a little bit, the simulation take a little bit longer.
Right. It's part of your environment. Guys, thank you so much. Absolutely amazing project. Seriously, I love to see those things. It always gives me hope for the next generation, right? And I think this is where it starts. And you know, connect kids to technology. They might be your boss of the future. Seriously. Really, really cool. This was the Project Roberta. We're going to have a quick break in between 2 and 3 minutes, and then we're going to talk to a German OEM. It's called Medion. Medion is quite a well-known brand over here in Germany. Not only in Germany, in Central Europe in general, but what a lot of people don't know about it, it belongs to Lenovo. Lenovo bought Medion, I think, already like 3-4 years ago. Anyways, we're going to talk to some product managers about their latest in their portfolio, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes. So a quick break, going back to the timetable, and then I'm going to be back.